The Detroit Lions playbook is one of the best playbooks in all of Madden 26. And in this video, we're going to be giving you an overview as to why the playbook is so good, some of the best plays possible from this playbook, and kind of some of the things to look for, not only in this offense in particular, but for really any offense in Madden this year. Now, first and foremost, they have a really good wing pair heavy. This kind of looks a little unique, a little odd, but it actually is a really good formation for running down here in the red zone. A couple audibles I like to have in my audibles here is I love to have this RPO stretch alert looky. The 26 duo is a really good play. And then from there, kind of honestly up to you. If you want to pass a little bit more, I think this play here, PA counter shot, is probably the best pass in the formation. You also, though, do have like kind of some of these motion plays that are cool. But in general, you can kind of do whatever you want with that other audible. But let's go ahead and get on to the next formation, and that is deuce close. So what makes deuce close? Really, the deuce close, their deuce close has a good 0-1 trap run. It also has a standard, kind of deuce close little zone weak. And then from there, couple different things that you could do, couple unique routes within this emotion duo. How do you the duo run is one of the best runs in the game. You have to, if there's a duo run, you got to put that in your audibles, in my opinion. And then in this little single bag ace formation, some decent stuff in here. Nothing too crazy. Everyone's favorite play, tight end attack with that short post on the tight end. But wing stack. Wing stack is really a great formation because you have halfback stretch, halfback dive, and then you also have some really cool passing concepts that you can do. For example, this play PA dig has kind of a unique route on the right, and then you have a couple other things that you could do here. I think the overarching, kind of best passing is really just the passing that they have set up for you. I don't think you need to do anything else here. I think these two passing plays are the best two passing plays. And heading into the U off stack, this is a formation that I really don't use a ton, but it is actually fairly similar to the wing slot. So if you want to set some audibles, I think the audibles they have for you are perfectly fine. Just simple plays that you can have here, halfback counter, just little runs like that. Now on to kind of the good stuff, and that is the 3x1, 11 personnel. They do have a bunch X or a single back bunch X nasty, and they also have the wide zone out of this play, and they have a little dive or a jet sweep, kind of for whatever you want. I personally, what I do is I actually only use one run down here, and that's the wide zone. And then really from there, they do have some really good passing plays. This PAX out cross is really good. Motion PA deep X over, great little play here. Motion X whip, you have to have this play. It has a short corner on the left side. In my opinion, you have to have. Those are like just money routes in this year's game. Doubles off close is kind of a unique formation that they do have in their playbook, but there's really not a ton of crazy stuff. I would say the best run from this is this RPO. I would have the halfback slam. I would also have this RPO run, RPO alert X screen, kind of a unique blocking scheme here, but can actually be a pretty good little play. And then really, I would probably just have like the jet sweep and the PA fly sweep. The PA fly sweep has a really unique route to the solo receiver, which is a nice little route to have. And then you get into kind of some of the I-form stuff. What's nice about Detroit is they have this power G run, which is a really good run in the red zone. Fullback dive, you got power O. I do like power O runs a ton this year. And then what I would probably do in this last spot is just PA power O, just a good basic play. Single back or I-form close, I probably go stretch, dive, and then really that's kind of the main plays. I would say this wide post. Any play where you have these kind of unique post routes and wheel routes, you definitely want to look for those in whatever formation you are running. And then really the only other one that makes any sense to me is just one of the play action plays. Probably the PA boot flow, maybe PA spider mesh. Either one of those plays are good to go. And then they do have a strong close. Their strong close isn't crazy good, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But let's go ahead and get into these shotgun formations. So what's nice about their shotgun formations is they have the gun split close. This formation is a kind of a really good formation in this year's game. There's a lot of cool things that they added into split close other than just the basic stuff. So this is a great formation that you can audible into, and I like to have the fullback inside and the halfback power O. I like to have both runs at my disposal. Actually, I'm going to go with the halfback gut here just because it's really good. It's a good running formation. You get good blocking out of these shotgun run plays. So I want to have, at least one, if not two of those runs in the arsenal. I also like halfback wheel, just kind of a universal good play, but I'm actually going to go mesh just because we have a better corner route to the outside guy. And then really that last play, again, a lot of good stuff that you could really do. I don't think you really need to do anything necessarily. I mean, if you want to have like a return route, that would make some sense. But I think in general, you can have one of these like little glitchy motion plays, like this motion halfback swing or this motion fullback cross. These are some good plays. If you wanted to kind of build around this motion flood, you could do that as well. I'll probably just put the motion swing in here just because it's kind of a fun play. And then let's get into some of these other formations. Now, the other thing about split close is if you look at the actual personnel, it's a running back, a tight end, two receivers, and so it's like a ace personnel. If you take that out and you just put in regular package here, its stock packaging is a 2x3. So all you need to do here is just put the tight end at fullback package. And if you come out in this formation, you could then audible into any of your, three wide receiver personnel that you would want to have. So anyways, just a little tip with that. Let's talk about this doubles formation. This double formation is actually really good. What I would suggest doing is having this motion smash play because it has a short corner route on both sides, so you can kind of build around that. And then you want to have this RPO zone read bubble. These are two really powerful plays that you could kind of build the offense around a little bit here. Really, the next thing I'd say is probably the cross trail or the motion slot fades. Because you can kind of create that stuff, it doesn't make me like super crazy about it. I probably just go with that cross Y trail and then maybe the play action play as well. So again, kind of just some things that you can kind of build around. This normal wild close, this is good because you have an 0-1 trap run. Those are super good, super valuable plays to be able to have one of those. You have a bubble if you want to. I will say in this year's game, bubble screens are really, really good. They're really, really good in this game. So if you want to use that, that's really the only couple plays I would use from there. Doubles hip. This formation is kind of like a mix-in formation that you would have. It's not necessarily a mainstay, but it does have some cool stuff in here. You have the halfback draw, PA slot cross with kind of a unique crosser, flood drive, which is just a great quick snap play. And then levels, I would probably take this one out and probably put PA slot cross in. Now, the main reason why you would run Detroit is for the Bunch X Nasty in this formation. The Bunch X Nasty in Detroit is probably the best Bunch X Nasty in the entire game. Now, the audibles that I would set is you have to have motion cross post. This is a top 5 play in Madden 26, maybe the best play in Madden 26. I also really believe in having this motion RPO zone alert because it's the same auto motion as the other two plays. And then we kind of have like some choices. For example, motion corner under is a really, really cool play, and it's only found in a couple of playbooks. And I would probably go with this one. And the main reason why is because you have that short corner on the left, and then you have a little motion return route. So I love that play. And then another one of the mainstay money plays from this playbook, couple different ones. You could go spacing switch because you have a speed table there. Smash return is just a great play no matter what year of Madden you're playing. And then some of these auto motion returns and things like that. But really, I think the best play, the play that makes the cut here, is really this one. If I can find it, it's the motion halfback choice. The reason this play is so good is because you have kind of a unique seam streak to the slot receiver that you can kind of build around within the play. And then we have bunch spread. So again, bunch spread, it's not really like a main formation that I think you could run every single down, but it's a great little formation to be able to audible to get some specific things that help. So one of the things is they have an outside zone run, which is really, really good in this year's game. It also has the play speed dig, but really it's these two plays, motion slot under and motion slot hitch. These are two really valuable plays that you want to have in this year's game. And the reason why is because one of them has a short post on the solo receiver, and then the other one has a short corner on the outside receiver. Really, from there, you can kind of choose whatever play you want to put in here. I would say the one that makes the most sense to me is corner divide because it gives you a unique post route to the slot receiver. You also, in this playbook, have the Y off trio close, and the Y off trio close has some really valuable plays. You have motion mesh rail, you have motion inside zone with the same motion. You also have this play here, boomerang mesh rail. I love this play just because it gives you kind of a unique motion, and it kind of, I just really like it, honestly. I think the underrated thing is this boomerang RPO alert swing is a really good guy. This has to be just a money play. And then the other thing that I was gonna say, as far as like what would be that last tier play, I really like this PA Power Shower Cross just because it has that short post there. I will say you could put an outside zone in here if you want more of a basic run. You have zero, you have all the runs in here. So this is a great formation. And in fact, I think it makes some sense to even maybe this would be your base formation just because you have so many good plays within it here. But I'm going to go PA Power Cross just because I really value short posts in this year's game. And then Trio Y Flex. Let's take a look at some of the other ones here. I think it was this, what was the formation called? No, I think it was Trio Y Flex. So if you look at this Trio Y Flex, it's kind of a unique formation, and it does a couple of things that are really just more so than anything kind of interesting. For example, this Trio Y Flex, it has, you know, kind of some unique streaks. So the play that you definitely want to have, you definitely want to have this PA crossers. You also definitely want to have the RPO play or the base run. Kind of up to you in terms of which one you want. I think the bubble, just because the bubble can be really good, and this one you can hot route the tight end. And then really from there, can go a lot of different directions as far as like what you want to see. The plays that I would recommend is this slot under H angle is kind of a unique play. The motion, any of these motion plays are pretty cool. I'd probably go with this motion mills just with the running back auto motion. And then really, I'm trying to think here, the motion slot shake is kind of a cool one. But I would probably say this, having this seam streak is really more valuable if I could find it. Where was that one play? Slot under H angle. Rest of the playbook, generally speaking, is it's all right. One of the things about their tight open is they do have some of the auto motion stuff. So you go empty mesh rail. You could go, let's see where are some other plays that make sense. I actually really like this empty, what's it called? Empty Z spot. And then you have verticals HB burst, which is just a money play. And then again, kind of up to you. But I think the mesh clear out has a really unique seam streak that makes a lot of sense to have in your audibles if you're going to have something. Their spread formation, I don't really ever call these. Empty bunch or tripswise slot, I don't call this one a lot either. And empty bunch open, you know, I don't really call these plays necessarily. Bunch quads is kind of crazy this year. But anyways, those are some of the main formations and plays. Now I want to get into actually some setups. So like I said, you can come out and really anything, but I think it makes the most sense to come out in either Bunch X Nasty or Y off Trio Close because they have the most amount of plays that just make practical sense, right, for you to run. Let's see what we're going to actually start with here. I think the one that makes the most sense to start with is probably motion spot under motion needs to be choice. Let's see here. What would I? We'll just do smash return. All right. So we'll show you some of these plays. So what makes this offense really, really good is that it can actually beat man coverage. So one of the best ways to beat man coverage in this game is motion cross post. You're going to take your running back, put him on a flat, streak the solo receiver, and then if you want to stem the tight end down, stem the tight end down. If you don't want to stem him down, don't stem him down. What'll happen a lot of times is one of these routes, these crossing routes, will beat man. There you see how that tight end is an unbumpable receiver, and he just does a really good job of being able to attack man coverage. Another one that I really like against a basic two-man under is really a double drag. So I'm just going to drag this left receiver, and then I'm going to actually just kind of run this almost like literally a mesh post with a clear out fade. And so you have this kind of cheap wheel that gets into a really unique spot, and then you have your mesh routes underneath. One of those drags normally is going to get you enough separation against a two-man under defense. A couple of the other plays that you have in here that make a lot of sense is this auto motion boomerang mesh Z rail. So what I would do with this play is I would streak the slot receiver, and really that's all you really have to do. If you wanted to table route the running back, you could. But what you're going to see is sometimes this boomerang motion can just kind of dumb out man coverage, as you see, and you can just out leverage the man coverage defenders to the outside. Another thing that I love about these auto motion plays is kind of what they can do for you when they start going to like just a basic drop zone. It's kind of something that people don't really expect, but when you have a clear out streak or you have something like this boomerang motion becomes a lot more unique. So you're going to see here, we have the seam streak threat, and then you'll see the boomerang motion kind of gets into this little spot. And that was actually a terrible example, but I'll show you a little bit better one. Let me just create that cover 4. And then where's that? Boomerang mesh rail, streak, or slot fade him, either way. But essentially what he's going to do is he's going to clear out the deep blues, and this is actually going to practically run almost like a running back wheel. So if you watch how he kind of gets into the seam, and you see how you can kind of just throw this into a really nice little pocket against the defender. So that's one way you can do it. The other way you can do it is kind of using this route like a clear out route for a stem down corner. It's really good against formations like this because watch the slot corner. Because there's no baseline in the game, see how the slot corner moves inside significantly when I do this auto motion. So what you'll see here is that your short corner is just going to out leverage him. And you notice that outside corner is getting pulled by the boomerang motion. So this is another little concept that I think makes a lot of sense. Now, if we go back to the Bunch X Nasty, I talked about a couple plays. One of the ones that I haven't talked about before is motion corner under. So what makes this play really good is it has a stock short corner on the solo wide receiver side. One of my favorite combos right now is to just, streak or wheel the running back, and then you have that short corner. And then you can really do whatever you want on the right side of the field. So you have a stock tight end flat. Like if you just literally did something like this would actually make sense. But watch that short corner. Just gets you really nice separation to the left side. I think the only reason I threw that interception is actually just because I didn't pass like that enough to the left side. You kind of really have to bend the ball, if you will, to get the leverage. So we'll try that again. We'll also put the running back on a streak here. And again, I just want to show you that if I bend this enough, you see that that's going to be a nice winner. The other thing about short corners, and this play in particular, is that like against a man-to-man look, what you're going to get from this auto motion. Let me actually go to the play. So you have this auto motion that has a return route. So what I like to do, especially if I know that they're probably going to be in man coverage, I'll flat the running back like that. And then on this right-hand side, I'll normally run a streak and a tight end corner, and I'm going to stem the tight end corner all the way down because I know that he's unbumpable. So what you're going to see here is this tight end corner is going to get kind of a pretty unique separation. And then you also have this backside return route that's kind of, going to be attacking a little bit more underneath. One of the other things that's really cool, in my opinion, about Bunch X Nasty is if they do try to press you in your Bunch X Nasty, a lot of times it's really difficult to press a Bunch X Nasty for some reason. And you'll see like if I did this post here, watch this slot corner. So you see how the slot corner just completely misaligned, and now the press is no longer available, and now I can hit this route consistently against the defense. So that's another way that we can really kind of manipulate the man coverage. Let me just show that one more time, but I'm going to show you another combo out of motion corner under that I think is actually decent. And that combo is essentially we're just going to really flood the right side, and kind of build around the fact that watch what that auto motion, you see he moves out to the outside, and now you get this separation right to your slot receiver against the man coverage defender. So I really like that route combo in terms of just being able to attack different coverages that you're going to see. One of the most popular coverages that you need to be prepared to be able to attack is any kind of cover two, especially to the bunch side. And so the play that I like to use when attacking that is this wild trio close, and we're going to go back into that boomerang motion. So what you're going to get here is we're going to streak flat, and then on this back side here, a couple different ways you could call this play. I think the one that makes the most sense is a high-low read over the middle. So just a basic post, and then your drag over there on the tight end position is more of like a man-beating route. What you're going to see in cover two, though, is if you give this a little bit of time, he's going to get over the top of the cloud and underneath of or to the side of a deep half defender. This is also why I really like motion cross post, because now we have a really easy way to be able to beat cover two on this left side. You're going to see it right here. So you see that clear out streak, and then you'll see that that outside cover two gets burned by that deep fade for a lot of yardage, right? Smash return, a quick snap setup, just streak. Actually, not a quick snap setup, but basically just streak drag, and then you can block the tight end. Real simple high-low read. And we're just going to really look for the return route or the in route, depending on how the user, kind of decides to play. Another play that we haven't talked about enough is this play right here. This is the motion X choice play. What I'm going to do is streak circle. I'm going to post my tight end. I'm going to stem him down one time. And then what I can do on the left side here is a couple different things. I can either drag this guy. I could return route this guy. I could put him on a corner and stem him all the way down. All of those are options. What you're going to see, though, that happens a lot against cover three is that this kind of glitchy streak is going to one play a cover three very consistently in this game. The other thing that's really interesting is, let's say they run like a cover two, right? Because cover two is definitely a much improved zone. Let's take a look at this. So what you're going to see is because we're sending three vertical, then this is going to cause some challenges for a cover two coverage. And what you're going to see is that this inside slot, he is going, he's kind of in a unique he's in a unique position to be thrown against a deep half. You kind of got to throw it on time a little bit. There, I threw it a little bit late, but you'll see here, like if I maybe run like a drag like this, watch this outside guy. I'm going to pass it into the inside. I'm not getting a great pass from Jared Garf, but anywho, point is just being they have to have a mid read to stop your slot route. That's going to be a touchdown. Another thing that you can do that's actually kind of a crazy route combo is you could put this guy on a curl and literally stem it up like pretty significantly, and you'll see that he'll sit in kind of a weird spot. There the vert hook actually played crazy. These yellow zones do play crazy in this game. And a lot of people put their yellow zones on 5 to help prevent some of the underneath stuff. So that's another thing that you have kind of going for you here. But we'll just see if we can actually complete this. Just highball this right there. And he normally is going to catch that like with a high degree of consistency. So anyways, that is that play. I didn't mean to show that play against a cover 4 defense. So like cover 4 drop coverage, right? Let's take a look at that play against that coverage, because that is a very popular coverage. And let's just see how this plays out. What you should see here is that this slot streak has a chance to kind of split them, but that tight end doesn't threaten enough to make this thing split a cover 4. So against cover 4, you're just going to hit your tight end. Let me just try it one more time here. Tight end kind of got bumped. Yeah, but you see the tight end, he gets in a really nice position, against a cover 4 coverage. So, again, depending on just what you're facing, but this play is really, really cool, specifically for a cover 3. Show it one more time here. Some motion, HB choice. And again, you can kind of do all kinds of stuff on the left side, like really whatever. But you'll see that the post just kind of sits into an interesting spot. So anyways, that's Bunch X Nasty, at least some of the main plays from it. Another thing that I love is this motion RPO zone alert. Great play. And you can hot route on RPO plays. So you can literally throw seam streaks if they're not paying attention. So I think that's crazy good. The Wild Trio close. I'll show this RPO swing here against a zone coverage. And again, you're just going to see that it's going to be an RPO. So you're RPOing the defender. And as you see, like, that's pretty clean and pretty decent. The other thing about this formation that we really didn't get into too much is you have motion mesh rail. The way that I like to run this play is post this outside receiver, streak the running back, and streak the solo receiver. So it looks like that. And basically what's going to happen is this is just going to be an all-out zone beater. It just kills zone. It's very difficult to be able to consistently run a zone coverage. One of the things I didn't talk about yet is this cover 3 beater out of motion mesh rail. So just with this basic post and seam streak, this is going to create a cover 3 beater. You're going to see that the middle third is going to bite on this post, and then it's going to leave this streak wide open with an inside pass lead for us to be able to attack that coverage on the left side. So they can't really run cover 3. They can't really run cover 2, and they're really left to have to essentially run a cover 4 coverage. Now, the problem with that is, and I don't care what formation you're in, if you run a cover 4 coverage, one of the best ways to manipulate a cover 4 coverage is to use a deep route stem from the slot receiver with that corner route. And you're going to see against cover 4, a lot of times this guy will clear the cover 4 defense. Let me try to show that a little bit better. You are going to need some time for this bomb, and you are going to need to stem him up quite a bit, like 4 to 5 times. You're going to need to stem this guy up. But what you'll see is if they are playing a cover 4, it's basically like a super deep double corner type route that is going to get over the top of a cover 4 defense. So those are really some of the main plays that I like in this. Move to the left here and see if there was anything I didn't cover. The thing I guess I didn't cover was really this doubles nasty. One of my favorite ways to run this is just a stem down corner on the right side. And you can really do whatever you want. Like a basic streak and then a kind of a very basic route combo here. But this is actually really, really good in this game. These drags. You should have a drag whenever you play, in my opinion. So anyways, those are, you kind of use that short corner a little bit. The other thing that you can do is you can audible into your single back bunch X nasty, which is a pretty seamless audible. And if they're giving you a look to run, you can easily get into the wide zone, which is one of the best runs in the game this year, yet again. The other thing that you can do from this bunch X nasty is you can use this motion corner underplay. And what I like to do with this motion corner underplay, like I said, is use that short corner. And that short corner can be used in a variety of ways. Because again, we know that cover 4 is going to be their main way to attack us in terms of stopping some of our one-play touchdowns. So what we're able to do with a play like this is we're able to, and essentially what I would do would probably be something like that on the right side. Really whatever you want with the tight end. But basically, you'll see cover 4 is just never going to defend this well. And you're going to just, this corner route is just going to be a layup throw after layup throw after layup throw. The other thing about this corner route is it acts as a clear out for flat defenders. So let's say that they're playing cover 4 on you. The flat defenders will get taken to the outside. And then the running back route will kind of get into a little bit of a unique spot. So you're going to see here that little running back route gets into a nice soft spot against the coverage, and you're able to attack within that as well. Now, as I said, you do have this trio close. Now, if you know you're going to go into trio close, you want to come out in a short side bunch, and then you want to audible into a wide side trip. So it looks like this, and I'll just show you how I like to run this play. One of them is this motion mesh or motion mills play. Kind of a simple play combo here, but you'll see it's a shuffle motion from the running back. The main purpose of the shuffle motion and kind of the combination itself is actually to attack. What a lot of people like to do when they're playing a trips tight end look is they'll play cover two on the trip side or on the tight end side. And so what you'll see is that this little kind of shuffle motion, provided we actually have a little bit more time there, we're going to be able to hit this consistently against a cover two. So again, just streak your tight end, drag this outside receiver, and you'll see, look where the running back kind of gets to late. He's going to get outside of the cloud flat. Now, for some random reason, the cloud actually matched him there, but he will, which, I mean, you know, we could also easily just check it down to our drag on the backside. And you can do whatever you want with the route combo. One of my favorites is to put a backside dig, something like that, on that side there. And let me just make sure this is actually a cloud flat. We'll see if he matches here. Obviously, we could just check it down. And it does look like he is going to match. I guess that's just a trips tight end check. And then you can just hit that backside guy, which is fine. The other thing about Trio Y Flex, though, that you have is this slot underplay. What's nice about this is it has a stock fade to your tight end, which is kind of a cool route. And then when we're kind of going through like a cover two type of deal, you have this kind of unique seam streak on this right side. And you'll see here, hopefully you will be able to clear. Not super good. Let's try one more time here to attack cover two with a trip set. Another way that we can attack cover two with a trip set, I know this one will work, hopefully, is this deep post out of PA crossers. We're just going to do your good old-fashioned slant post combo here. This is still just an absolutely lethal play. And, of course, look at the deep halves. Just play out of their mind on post routes. That's crazy that the deep halves are actually able to play that. Let me try one more time because I'm stubborn and I want to show you this. So, again, PA crossers. And we're going to actually do it this way. We're going to streak, slant, post, and then we're going to use a deeper post. So you'll see here, if we do have time in the pocket, this thing can just pop a cover two, as you see. So anyway, that is one of those routes. Another thing about Trio, this has been a really good cover three beater for the last couple of years. It is just PA crossers, and you're just going to drag this outside trips receiver. You're going to corner route and stem down the corner, and then you're going to streak the inside. So it looks like that. And what you'll see is against cover three, this little crosser is just going to get in a sweet spot, and it's going to be able to pretty much bomb cover three for a potential one-play touchdown. So anyways, those are some of my favorite, like, just kind of dots and passing plays out of the Lions playbook. And then I wanted to also show you kind of what I like to do down here in the red zone. We can pretty much go against any defense and have a degree of success. I think one of the best ways to attack down here is to utilize the wing stack with this halfback stretch. This halfback stretch run is really it's just a good run, and it's going to give you consistent positive yardage. It's going to be hard to stop this run for negative yardage if 69 could actually make a block. You know what? We're going to use the untarget thing, and we're going to untarget the backside D end. And you see there that time able to get in. But anyways, stretch is just a good run in this year's game. As long as you're patient with it, it's really, really good. And if you got a back like Jahmyr Gibbs, this dude can shake some people off. Let me see if I can actually just get out here. Little Yucatan Peninsula, not able to get it. But anyway, this is a good run. This is something I like to run. And then the dive, just a simple dive. Dives are really good. If they're spreading out to stop the stretch, you have the dive. If they're obviously condensing the defense to try to stop the dive, then you have the ability to stop the stretch or to attack with the stretch run. The other thing that you have in this playbook that I think is kind of cool is you have these quick passing plays. What I like to do is stem this out route up one time, and then I like to take this guy on the left and put him on a flat. And then on the right side, really you can do whatever you want. I think an easy one is a seam wheel, a in route, and then a tight end wheel route. So it looks like that. That is something you can do. What you'll see with this out route is it's just a really consistent route for attacking man in zone. So for example, let's say they're in like a cover three zone or anything like that. where they're hard flatting, what you're going to see is watch how this, see how it kind of gets in a soft spot right there where you can just kind of hit it in the red zone for a quick, short yardage play. And then you also have like some of your other stuff, like you have your deuce close down here. You have some of those other formations as well. But really, I think the stretch run, I don't know why we're not getting better blocking on this. Maybe I need to slide protect it. I don't know. But we're just getting a ton of congestion on this stretch run. And it's super surprising. Anyway, there we go. We finally get a good block and we're able to get some positive yardage. But the stretch is, yet again, I think the best under center run next to duo. The combination of a duo run and a stretch run is really good. And then the dive is just a serviceable run for when they're spreading out to be able to try to stop your stretch. So this is just again, a really good run. As you can see, anyway, not gonna talk about it. Anyway, the other thing you have is this deuce close motion duo run. What's nice about this is it creates a strong formation. So like you'll see it happens really quick. And then you're just going to see like duo runs are super hard to shoot in the backfield. And they're just super consistent. And this audible, by the way, this deuce close audible, it doesn't take a ton of time. So like that's a pretty quick audible transitioning into this. The other thing I really like about deuce close is that with deuce close plays, oh my gosh, the sheds and the blocks are just so random and practice mode. But the other thing about deuce close runs is that you can flip them. So let's say, for example, that I want to run the duo and I want to run it to the left. You can't really playmaker this run because it's an auto motion, but you can flip it. And the game has no real tell. Obviously, the motion is going to be different, but that's one of the easy ways to be able to utilize, some of those extra formations that you have, down here in the red zone. And I think you should utilize those. So anyways, that is the Detroit Lions offense. I want to thank you for watching this video. And if you're looking to take your Madden game to the next level, join our school community today for just $10. It's going to get you access to all of my offensive and defensive ebooks. And if you want to sign up, the link is in the description down below.